What's up everyone, Julian here. Today I'm back and I'm going to be showing you how to make breakbeats, and not just how to make the breakbeats, but how to make the whole track around it and really how to make it all fit together, you know, sort of in the style of like Bicep, Prospa, Franky, that style of stuff. To go along with this video, I just dropped a new sample pack called Powerful Breakbeat Kits Volume 1. It's available on my website, Electronic Samples. Definitely go grab that if you haven't already. The link is right in the top of the description, and for just $10, you get these 5 kits where you can see each one. You have the full project file, plus you can't see it in here, but if I open up the Explorer here, you can see you get all the individual layers for each one, right? So you get everything that you need. Literally, you can just take these individual loops and put them all together and make your own new tracks. So you get 5 of those. Again, full Ableton file, full all the stems and everything. Plus, you get these bonus melody loops, as well as these bonus bass lines. So you really get everything that you need to make a really solid track in this style. Again, guys, I just wanted to make a really solid resource that is accessible and also really, really high quality. There's really not a lot of quality stuff on the market for this style yet, but I've really taken the time and studied these different tracks and these different producers, and I know what's going on, and I can really make you guys something that actually is going to sound like the pros, and it's actually going to help you get your tracks to the level that you want them to. So, if you want that, the link is at the top of the description. I definitely recommend everybody go grab this to make your best possible music. Once again, plus it's really going to help support me. I don't make a whole lot just off of YouTube alone. Really not a lot at all. But with these sample packs, I'm able to keep bringing you guys new videos. And plus, it's just going to help keep me going so I can bring you guys new videos all the time. So yeah, thank you so much for all the support, guys. And let's dive in. So, we're at 131 BPM. This is actually one of the kids from the pack. And we're going to start with the breakbeat. So you can see, these are all the individual layers, it's 6 of them. So, when you're making the breakbeat, I think a lot of people think that you want to start with this. But actually, you're going to start right up front with these 3 elements. And when you hear this all together, it kind of sounds like UK Garage, right? But that's what you're going for. You want to get a really solid, punchy, fat kick, usually like a 909 style kick like this is. You know, a nice like rim shot snare like this. And then we have a hi-hat as well. And the idea here is that, you know, the breakbeat sample is really only like the sauce on top of it. But you can't have sauce without a steak, right? So this is essentially going to be the steak, like the thing, the meat underneath all of that, that's really going to make it hold together. Because when you hear a track like this, you know, at a rave or something, right, it's not just the breakbeat. You also have a like the punch and the kick and the snare. And that's really like, you have to have that. And that's where these come in, because you can sit here with the breakbeat all day and try to do like multi-band compression and drum bussing and all that stuff, but you're really just never going to get that like. And if you do, it's not going to be as clean as if you literally just layer some samples underneath. So that's what's happening. And yeah, you actually want to start with that. I think it's tempting to start with the breakbeat, right? Because you hear the sample and it's exciting. But really, you want to start with these. And once these are solid, which is not that hard, right? Just use your ears, get the kick and the snare at the right level, then get the hi-hat. Once you have those, then you can go to the breakbeat. Right, and now this breakbeat has something to sit on top of and kind of like a body already to go on top of. You know, it's almost like you have like the body and then you have the clubs. This is like the clubs. So yeah, you can see here I just took this loop, chopped it up a little bit. I was playing with like the reverses here. And you can create a nice groove. We just have a little bit of drum bass, just to kind of make it a bit fatter, but it's not really like, again, it's not like that's going to give it like that kick and snare. Like, that's just to make this a little bit fatter and kind of sauce it up a little bit. We got a high pass filter and then a little bit of compression as well to kind of even it out. And if you do it right, you can hear that's going to sit well with the kick and the snare and that main hi-hat. And it'll all come together and make one really full, fat sounding thing. So then after that, we have kind of like the extra sauce on top, which is actually very important as well, but it's maybe not as like right in your face. The first one being this tambourine. And yeah, you can hear it's just like a nice shaker, like tambourine type of thing. And then we also have this layer. Which you can hear just add some nice like mid-range and a little bit of hi-hats on top as well. These are little subtle layers, but they do make a big difference. And it can also help too, because it's like if you just use this drum break loop the way it is in the actual like sample, yeah, you're kind of stuck with that, right? I mean, you can EQ it and try to boost some highs, but these elements can be a good way to add kind of like this different frequencies without it being too much, right? It's all fitting in there really nicely and not taking over what's happening with the breakbeat. And yeah, so that's how you put the breakbeat together. Again, it's not actually that hard if you see what you're doing, but I think it can be a little bit challenging if you don't know what you're doing. Now, I'll go down these synths as well here. So the first one is this pad. So you can hear this is almost like a burial-esque sort of pad. What's happening is it's made using wavetable, but basically we're in the key of D sharp minor. And this is not going to play your full chord progression, right? This is meant to just sort of be like an extra bit of musical sauce on top. So what's happening is we have our root note and our fifth down here, right? D sharp and A sharp. And then if you look, this little chord here, you can ignore this note, it's turned off. But this chord here, that is now that fifth, and then another F, which would actually be our ninth. But yeah, so it's kind of just taking that shape and going between those two. And then we have some extra notes on top for some sauce, so to speak. Like we have F sharp, which will be the minor third, A sharp, which is another fifth, D sharp, which is the root note, and then another ninth there with F. So again, like all notes inside of that D sharp minor scale, very simple stuff. And then for the synth here, you can see, yeah, it's just a saw wave. And then we have a square wave here in the second oscillator. And you can see I have an LFO just moving the oscillator one sync. So that's giving you a bit of movement there. Because if you don't have that, it's going to be a little bit like too just kind of steady, right? That gives it some moving and some changing. Then we have a bit of chorus. Just a tiny little bit. You can see some reverb, a little bit of drum bus as well, which is going to make this a bit fatter and kind of punchier. And then we have a high pass filter. Then we have this arpeggio. So you can see this is just moving around. So this one's all, again, just like this progression in D sharp minor. We can see we're getting a little bit more crazy, so to speak, with the notes here. Like here, now that's the sixth, and then we're actually going up to the root note. Then there's the ninth, and then there's the fifth. So again, like, it's not just like root note, like very basic. It's kind of like in that D sharp minor scale, but getting very creative with those notes there. And then for the actual sound here, it's made using analog. We have two square waves, one's an octave up. Low pass filter with a bit of an envelope. I've also got an LFO and the key tracking on that as well. Then you can see just some vibrato and unison. A little bit of echo, stereo widening rack, which I have a video explaining that if you search that on YouTube. I've got some drum bus here, which again also still just makes this a little bit fatter. I try not to do it too much, but a little bit can really give this like some character and some vibe. And then we have a high pass filter. And then we also have the bass down here, which is made of two layers. So this is playing our chord progression also. So you can see, yeah, it's like one of those ones where we go sixth, seventh, and then it resolves on the root note actually. But it's the reason why you know it's not actually like B major, for example, is because when you get to D sharp minor here, that's what really like hits, right? Like that's the part that really feels like it's resolving. So that's what the key is, and it's these going up to that. Kind of a more complex thing there, but I think it's gonna make it sound more interesting. And then for the actual sound here, it's made using operator. So we got a square wave with a low pass filter. Very simple sound. And then on top of that, we have this respace. Same MIDI, but now this is made with wavetable. We have a saw wave, and then a triangle wave, actually, which that's kind of a secret. You can see, yeah, the saw wave is an octave down from the triangle wave. We also have the sub oscillator there. But that triangle wave is kind of adding the mid-range to it. If I turn that off, and then on, see, like, it actually might sound like it's part of the saw wave, but it's literally just adding that, like that kind of hum in there. And yeah, then we have the unison on the noise setting. I've got this auto filter, which you can see is a notch filter with an LFO and a bunch of drive. I've got a bit of chorus. And then this amp here, which you can see we're not doing 100%. It's just being blended in there with a high pass filter. And then that's just going to sit really nicely over the sub. And this way you can hear the bass and not just feel it. And yeah, so that's me for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe, and let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can get Powerful Breakbeats Volume 1 right at the top of the description on my website. It's just $10, super affordable, but it gives you the best quality kits in this style to really make your best music. Again, you get all the individual layers for each thing, plus the Ableton file, and you get these bonus melodies and bonus bass lines. So you literally get everything you need to make a really high quality track. Again, I wanted to just make something super accessible that you guys could grab and really take your tracks to the next level while also helping support me. I don't make a whole lot off of YouTube alone, but with these sample packs, I can keep bringing you guys new videos all the time and showing you how to do stuff that's not out there. So yeah, thank you so much, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video.